So I've been thinking a lot about cameras these last couple of weeks as I've been playing with the Sony ZV-E1, the most incredible camera released in 2023. Of course, we're still waiting for the GoPro Hero 12 to test out, but yeah, I think this is the cat's pajamas. I really do. It's a beautiful camera. But it certainly made me think about cameras in general. Our cameras, the way we use them. And as a content creator, on YouTube, I play around with different cameras. And there are moments where I feel like it's amazing what kind of image quality you can get out of this camera. And, despite paying $2,500 for a camera, which is just insane. And then, buying expensive lenses, and you get really cool lights, and you get wireless microphones, and you get really cool content. And that's all good and great. But I keep coming back to this topic, and I've made videos about this before. I just think that cameras are they're not getting simplified enough. Like, there's a part of me that really, the reason why I like the GoPro camera is because it's a all one solution. Like, everything in this thing, you got everything you want, and you don't have to attach a gimbal because it has really good image stabilization and all sorts of features, time lapses and stuff. It's just so simple to use. The menu is very simple. They haven't overcomplicated it. Like, with the Sony ZV-E1, there was a ton of tweaks and adjustments that you can make. And there's a whole knowledge of things that you should know before you can properly use this camera. So, for example, my friend Brian, who is also a YouTuber, he makes these incredible videos. I'll put a link in the video description. He does these incredible videos of how to utilize Sony ZV-E1. Great tutorials, like using the dual ISO, explaining the limitations and things that you can use in this camera to get the most out of it. And that's all good and great. And I love your work, Brian, I really do. But there is a part of me that just wants to take out my smartphone and record my videos, because it does everything in auto, and that's the part I'm sort of missing. Like, yes, it does have auto mode, and most cameras have auto modes, but they're usually pretty terrible. But Sony ZV-E1 is sort of showing me the future. I'm starting to see the big picture here with the AI integrated into cameras, the tracking thingies. I'm starting to see a future where cameras are being simplified for most people to start using. Because, I remember a couple of years ago, I was watching this interview with Steve Jobs, the Apple creator, rest in peace. He did this interview, I think it was in the 80s, and he was explaining how computers are going to go into society. And this is long before everybody had a computer, right? And he was explaining that everybody wants to use a computer, but they don't want to learn how to use a computer in order to use it. They just want to use it. And that's the difference that I feel between smartphones and the GoPro and, these incredible machines that produce the most incredible image quality. Like, a lot of people want to use these type of cameras, but they don't want to mess around with, shooting in log and creating these settings to get the best image quality and stuff like that. They just want to hit the record button, or not even that. They just want to say, "Yo, camera, start filming." Like, they want it simple. That's the way for them to really start utilizing the potential. They're unleashing their creativity. And this is something that, I respect YouTubers and content creators so much for, because I don't think people give them enough credit. Like, people who don't make their own content on social media, they just don't know how difficult it is. You have to be sort of a tech geek, and you have to be a creative soul, and sort of mash them together to start using. And this is the thing, this is the trick that Apple understood, that in order to make people love their machines, you have to make them simple to use. Now, Sony has made a lot of improvements, but there's a part of me that feels that these camera companies, they're run by these old geezers who were professionals in photography, who still relate on, having every bit of manual control possible. And I get that, I respect that as well, but for most people, it's just overkill. They just want to, turn on a camera and start creating content. And cameras just don't provide that unless you use a smartphone, Like, imagine the idea of just being able to upload videos from your mirrorless full-frame camera directly to YouTube. Or imagine, coming home and images just instantly jump over to your storage server or something like that. Or imagine being able to download apps, to your camera, for time lapses or for, I don't know, I don't think we're really utilizing simplicity here. Apps are so simple. Like when they came out to the smartphones, it was about creating these simple tools that which could make you use your smartphone more creatively. And it worked, 15 years later, and everybody's using these different social media platforms. If you just look at social media like TikTok and Instagram, the simplicity of it, the simplicity of being able to record yourself and creating a short or a story and just uploading it. And if you had that in a camera like this, that would be something, but we're just not there yet. Now, I'm sure this will pick up within the next 5 to 10 years or so, but it's just something that I wanted to get off my chest, because as much as I love, and I really like this camera a lot, I'm not going to say it a lot, but it's a great camera, right? But it's sort of, again, it's hinting the potential in the future, and we're just not there yet. But at some point, it's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to be cool, really cool. I feel like I've talked too much. Now, normally a YouTuber would drag this up to, reach 8 minutes to get more monetization, more ads and stuff like that. But I think we can all agree that I've talked too much today. So I'm going to go now. I'm going to leave. Okay, bye.